In this video, we'll be taking apart the Moondrop MIAD01. And for those of you who love listening to music, or are big on headphone jacks, you're really going to want to see this one. Because this phone has not only one, but two headphone jacks. And if you're interested in seeing more videos like this, make sure you subscribe and click on the notification bell so you'll be notified once I upload a new video. Also, if you need any tools, there'll be links in the description. We'll start off by removing the SIM tray. Looking at the SIM tray, there is no rubber gasket. Now there are some catches holding the screen assembly to the frame. So to separate the screen from the frame, we need to run a pry tool in between the plastic frame of the screen and the back housing. So you don't need to worry about prying any adhesive or glue off. Here's a better look at the plastic back housing. The camera lens covers can be replaced by applying heat and prying them off, so you don't need to take apart the phone to replace those. At this point, there are 18 Phillips screws which need to be removed. On this top plastic cover, we can see numerous antenna lines drawn, which are the light gray color lines, as well as the NFC antenna. The LED flash is also located here in the cutout. Here's a look at the other side. The two plastic pieces can be separated, revealing the top earpiece speaker, as well as the LED flash board. There's also a secondary microphone on the LED flash board. There's a mesh filter and rubber gasket over the opening of the earpiece speaker. Now the battery cable can be disconnected, followed by the rest of the cables. In order to remove the battery, there's a pull pouch provided to help you pry it off. This is the 5100 mAh battery. Now that the battery has been removed, we can see the flex cable for the screen which is routed to an opening in the mid-frame, as well as these two flex cables which connect the main board to the subboard, as well as the charger port. So if you needed to replace the screen, you'd remove the back housing, the screws on the top plastic cover, and then you'd disconnect and pry off the battery, giving you access to the screen cable, at which point you would heat up the front of the phone where the screen is to loosen up the adhesive underneath, pry the old screen off, apply new adhesive, reapply the new screen making sure you run the flex cable back to the opening in the mid-frame, and reassemble the phone. The coaxial cables can be disconnected by just popping them off. There are additional antenna lines drawn on the bottom plastic cover. On the other side, we can see the speaker assembly. There's also a mesh filter and rubber gasket over the opening of the speaker. This is the 32 megapixel front-facing camera. There are two Phillips screws which are holding down the main board. Taking a look at the main board, there's a 64 megapixel primary camera and an 8 megapixel wide angle lens. Neither camera have OIS or optical image stabilization. The camera connectors can be disconnected by just popping them off. There's an ambient light sensor located on the top corner, and on this phone there are two headphone jacks, a 4.4mm fully balanced headphone jack and a 3.5mm one. There's also graphite film over the shields to help transfer heat. On the back we can see copper film or foil over the shields, as well as a lot of thermal paste to help transfer heat. This copper film or tape isn't just a thin film, it's more like 3D copper or multiple layers of copper film, and it's fairly thick, almost like a copper plate. So once that's been peeled back, we can see additional thermal paste on top of the processor, and next to that is the RAM. Here's a better look with the thermal paste removed. Underneath the motherboard, there's more graphite film to help transfer heat. There's a single Phillips screw which is holding down the subboard. Looking at the subboard, the primary microphone is located here, and there's a liquid damage indicator sticker which is that white sticker. The SIM and memory card reader is located on the other side. There's a single Phillips screw holding down the charger port flex to the frame. Here's a better look at the charger port. The vibrator motor is located here, which is held on with some adhesive, and the same goes for the fingerprint sensor located next to that. To replace those, just apply heat and gently pry them off. There's an antenna board on the corner which is held on with the Phillips screw, and the flex cable for the volume keys and power button is located on this side, which is also held on with some adhesive. For the repairability score on this phone, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to put it back together. Once everything's back in place, reapply the back housing. Flip over the phone, power it on, and you're done. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.